Xbox One, Xbox One S, obviously work on Xbox One X, but some of the developers are going to be able to unlock some additional potential, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's the time that these guys get to spend on the enhancements is not time they're spending fighting with the tech. And so the result is more time, better games, more chance to fine-tune, less time trying to get triangles up and running.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been able to add, other features beyond just the graphics enhancements. We're now supporting Dolby Atmos for enhanced, spatial audio, which is on Xbox One X as well as Xbox One S.
Yeah.
And that's if you have a Dolby kind of home theater setup, of course it's super awesome.
Yeah.
But that also works with headphones. There's a new support for Dolby Atmos for headphones, which basically models the way audio moves in to your ears, the speed of sound and the transfer of sound around your head. And through that, we can actually get an enhanced 3D audio with headsets, which is pretty cool.
We have this image behind us, which is all about the Gears Pro circuit, which is the esports coming up. And I want to, it's got like a $1.25 million prize pool, according to this paper. What impact do you think that Xbox One X will have on the pro sports and the esports scene?
Well, esports gaming, especially competitive multiplayer, a shooter like Gears, frame rate is king. So it's 60 frames per second, 1080p is Gears of War on Xbox One S, and on Xbox One X we're 4K at 60 frames per second, uncompromising on our frame rate. But with the additional fidelity that players will see at 4K, I think what we're going to see is a new era of 4K spectating and 4K streaming that I'm certainly excited to see in our feature with Gears.
Well, certainly we've talked a lot about Gears and what you guys will be doing. That'll be a free update coming later this year. But what we showed at the briefing was the Forza Motorsport 7 trailer. So I'd like to bring out right now Chris Tector, who is the studio software architect for Turn 10. Oh, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You guys have had a good week.
Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, there's a lot of work to get here, but
now I wanted Chris. You're the studio software architect, so I imagine that implies that you're responsible for making sure that all your developers start using all the new hotness with Xbox One X and so forth. Or am I wrong?
No, that's what it is.
That's
it's
part
really,
of it.
We have to look far enough ahead in the future to know what changes are going to come, and then try to steer everybody so that we're heading in the right direction. It's a big job to line up with what hardware changes are coming, what changes are going to come in the OS and other bits of software that we use, and how we're going to really maximize that to exploit it for each game that we do. And now that Forza is between both Motorsport and Horizon, it's an annual title. It's really this interesting path that we weave between the two titles and trying to keep up with the changes.
I also want to point out you've been with the Forza team since you started.
Yeah, since Forza 1.
Yeah, Forza 1. And
I was on the prototype.
You and I were talking backstage, and Albert, you probably remember this. I remember when we all got together in the cafeteria and we announced we were doing Forza as a franchise. We're going into the racing business because there was a lot of players in that space, and you guys have there was a race there, but you have pulled so far ahead now with all the extraordinary work you've done there. It's incredible. And then look at that, right? That beautiful GT2 RS Porsche coming to Forza Motorsport 7. That's also an exciting element, right?
Yeah, that was a big moment for us. I mean, the relationship we've had to build with all the manufacturers has been a long time coming, but we've really done a lot of work to build that level of trust and let us pull off something like that.
Now, a year ago, we had this Project Scorpio video that went out. Can we talk about that? Now, Albert, you were involved with that. I was involved, but I got cut. I got cut for some reason.
I did not get cut.
But you had one. You had one of the interest. You had a quote that a lot of people remember, especially on Reddit. Do you remember what that quote was?
Yeah.
What was that quote?
These are the highest quality pixels that anybody has ever seen. Thank you.
I have to apologize to Chris every time because I was in charge of editing that video.
Yeah.
And This guy weaved the most beautiful, heartfelt story, and we're just looking at it going, man, this is awesome. And we knew what he meant. And so in the end, we cut this moment when he talks about it, and then realized nobody else had any context for any of the other things.
It was just
that
this
he
random
said.
statement.
And then, like, you know, I got two of the smartest guys in the world about graphics, and I just made this guy. People go, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. High quality pixels. He knows what he's talking about. Believe me.
So you know what? Now you can tell your story. What does that mean?
Really? Do I get to? This
Yeah.
is awesome. All right. So the whole point, the story, because we were getting to wax philosophical because we're gamers at heart, and we had to talk about how excited we were about this hardware. The story is that most people have seen 4K, and they've seen it in theaters. They've seen it if they can see it at home when they watch a film. But those are they're like 24 frames a second. They're 30 frames a second, and they've been compressed. Even in a theater, those movies have been compressed. And so if you're seeing games, just in general 4K games, those 4K games, they've never been compressed. That was the uncompressed part of it. And they're running at like 60 frames a second. So you're seeing the best images you've ever seen at 4K. And what Scorpio's been able to do is bring that to people in their homes on a console instead of having to invest in a huge PC in order to actually experience that really just, it's such a raw and powerful experience when you get to play a 4K game. So.
What's a T-flop?
What's a teraflop?
I don't know. We got 6 of them.
We use
you know
all
the
of
story.
them.
Chris, I want to talk about bringing up the Forza on Xbox One X. We talked a little bit earlier about Gears and how the team brought that. Can you tell us about the journey your team went on?
Yeah, a lot of that started back. We knew that we were going to head into PC development a few years back. And we knew that we wanted to help shape what was going to be the new way of being able to program graphics on PCs to make it more like console development. This was a movement that's happening, across a lot of developers and within Microsoft, the development of Direct 3D. It's the graphics API we use. And so we came and we helped, prototype that with Direct 3D 12 at the Game Developers Conference back in 2014. And that was our first step heading towards there. And then we really put everything into it because we wanted to bring a title out and see what it was like to scale the Forza engine across everything that you can get on PCs. And so we brought out Forza Apex, and all of this started happening more rapidly. And Apex we wanted to give away for free because we wanted as many people to play it as we could get. That way we could really tell how well we were doing at that scaling.
Right.
And then we actually shipped a product, a PC and console product with Forza Horizon 3. And so this is really the culmination. We've done a lot of work, and Forza 7 is the title that we've built from the ground up for 4K, and we've really engineered it. We've authored all the assets to be at that level of quality.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I mean, here we see this. This was released. This we saw back in when the Digital Foundry article came out, correct?
Yes, that's the shot, the first shot that we shared with everybody.
And this is, I mean, it's stunning. And then we have another shot as well, right? Yeah, here's the one that was released yesterday. So you can see it just gets even better and better. I mean, look at the rain. It's stunning.
Yeah, and you have to play it. I mean, it's intense, and you just. I know I've gotten to play it a lot, and I still get hit by how powerful that is.
Yeah.
The tension of driving in the rain. It's like when a thunderstorm hits and you're driving down the road and you just, you tense up inside. You just feel it playing this. It's really visceral. So it's been a big shift for us.
What is the, I want to talk about, you both have had the opportunity to develop games on the Xbox One X platform, and Albert and I don't, that's not what we do. But what are some of the myths out there from people who haven't had exposure to the platform, from developers? Could you each speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is that people think that if the platforms are so similar, that it means as developers we're just going to write one game and that's going to be it, and it's going to run, great on Xbox One S, and then we won't have really pushed it on Xbox One X. But like Mike said earlier, with a console, we know what that hardware is,
right? And
so we can push it as far as we can. And as longtime console developers, we know what we get when we push things to that limit. And so we'll get all of our testers, all of our artists in the studio working in order to push things to that limit and bring that experience to our players. So to me, I think that's the biggest myth, that we aren't going to push it hard enough on X, but we really are.
And you've pushed it quite hard. You still have a little bit of headroom left, like you said earlier.
Yeah, initially, I mean, that's what that screenshot earlier was showing, was when we first got up and running, and we were running with 4K assets, you know, models and textures and everything, and actually rendering at 4K. But we still had that 30% headroom, and that really meant that we could spend a lot of time heading forward. And like Mike said, we had the same experience where we were already running at performance on the first day. That meant that we could really spend that time tuning and really pushing for quality rather than pushing for performance. We've had to do that on other console launches, and we know the difference. So
and a lot of it really is as a result of this, which is the Scorpio engine.
Yes.
Which, I mean, certainly there's a lot of things going on in there, but is this right? Right, Albert? That's the
So pretty.
That's it.
This is what really does. This is a custom chip that allows you know, the developers like yourselves to really maximize performance and writing to the metal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I would just say, you know, the same thing as Chris. I mean, as I said, with a console, we can always optimize and push our games as far as we can, and we don't compromise in any way. We're all gamers, and we want to, you know, push things. And the tooling we have with things like picks that we use for, you know, analyzing, fine-tuning our game.
Right.
We tune it, so to get the most we can get out of this box, as well as the most we can get out of Xbox One S.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's an uncompromising approach when we build our games for these things.
Chris and Mike and Albert, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up now because we had a little technical issue earlier. We're not going to be able to take Q&A from the audience. But, yeah, unfortunately, well, it's blame lights. And we wanted to turn the console on, but I don't think the house is going to be able to handle it, I'll tell you, with all that power. Anyway, so we're going to have to wrap it up now. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do. If you have any questions, you can always find Albert and I on Twitter. Right, Albert?
That's right.
That's right, anyway.
Lancer.
I want to thank the gentlemen as well, Mike and Chris, for coming out here. I know you guys are working on your games, so I'll let you get back to that. Thank you very much, guys. Everybody watching at Facebook, thank you for your time, and everybody here in the audience in LA. Thank you.
Thanks,
Xbox One X comes out November 7th. Thank you very much, everybody.
Coming up next, the one and only Jack Black in conversation with Tim Schafer. Stick around in just a few minutes. Day one of the E3 Coliseum concludes, and then tomorrow we've got another full day of programming starting at 10 a.m., going all the way through the day, including a special appearance by Hideo Kojima, and just added at the end of the day, director Neil Blomkamp, and a performance by Low Roar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final session of E3 Coliseum Day 1. And now, please welcome to the stage Jack Black and Tim Schafer.
Hello.
I don't know. I sit on the special couch.
Oh,
You
sorry.
sit on the regular couch?
This is all part of it.
Is there seating arranged? Have
yeah,
people
come
been
sit
sitting
right
in
here.
special places?
It's back.
Does this look? The host sits over here. It's like The Price is Right, where I'm looking. Which chair? Which one?
Thank you for the help. Thank you for the help in seating. That's amazing.
Ding ding ding.
Look
This
at all these
feels right.
people. It's awesome. Welcome to E3.
The thing is, there's so much room here. We could have had like 5 more people
I know.
on this thing.
Do you? Can I ask a quick question? This is the first year E3's been open to the public. How many people here work in the games industry? Anyone? Would make some noise. Okay. Who does not work in the games industry? Oh, real people. This is real people.
Was that a surprise for you?
That was exactly what I was hoping for.
You were expecting, though, 90% industry insiders.
Industry people to be like, yes, I'm from the games industry. Yes.
Yeah, so good. So now we know that there's a lot of non-industry, just lovers of games.
Yeah, people who love games. Like
Because
you.
I'm not even going to ask how many lovers of games. I know it's 100% lovers of games. What did you say? Oh, brutal legend.
Yeah. Not a fan. Too violent.
Or is that
Yeah. I'm a father, and I just don't like that kind of video games lead to
You left
rock
that-
and roll,
that part of yourself in the past?
violence. Yeah. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Um,
So I don't know if you can tell, we were offered a professional interviewing services of Jeff Keighley, and we said, we're going to wing it.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do it, so you're welcome.
is Keeley in the wings?
If we need him, I think we can pull a cord and
At
he'll
any
appear.
time we could pull
He'll
the
just-
Keeley ripcord and he'll come out and save us?
Yeah, he'll be like a hologram, like Tupac. So
What the hell is going on here? Who's interviewing who? First of all, who's interviewing who? I think I'm interviewing you. This is your home turf. This is E3.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the first question. then.
What?
Yeah, is this your first E3?
This is my first E3.
What did you? We just walked the floor. Yeah, it's their first E3 too, is what we're saying.
Yeah, it was tight out there.
We
It was
walked
tight.
the floor,
Yeah.
and you saw some stuff. What did you think of E3 so far?
I was, I definitely felt like I was on the bleeding edge of technologies. I saw some things that I didn't expect to see. Games. I saw games.
We didn't warn him about that. There's gonna be hella games and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now you get to ask a question.
Am I turning red? I feel embarrassed. I feel a little hot. Well, listen. I prepared some questions,
Oh my
and I
God.
wrote them down on my phone.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because I know it's cool to be off the cuff, but I just really wanted to penetrate deep into the soul of Tim Schafer.
Okay.
Oh man, that's a dumb question. I'm not going to start with that one. You want to hear a dumb question? I just wrote these down last night off the top of my head. The first one, oh man. Do you remember the first time you played a video game?
I think so. I think so.
Let me guess. Was it Pong?
No. It was this game called either Space Race or Race in Space. It's
Really?
really old, and it's like these two spaceships going up a screen. It's black and white. It was like the second video game.
Wait, wait. Is this like right after Space
right
Invaders?
after Pong.
Oh, right after, before
Yeah,
Space
yeah.
Invaders.
Before Space Invaders.
That little space between Pong and Space Invaders. That's where Tim Schafer
Yeah.
picked up
Still
the
black and
ball.
white. Yeah. And we had, before the Atari, we had an Odyssey.
Oh,
Odyssey
yeah.
1, Magnavox Odyssey 1, where the graphics were printed on plastic sheets that you had to stick with static electricity to the television screen. Screens used to have static electricity. There's a lot to explain to
There's not.
the young kids. And you had the controllers were so heavy they sat on the floor. and you twirled little knobs on the side.
Yeah.
People think I'm making this all up. They're like, this never happened. But the Odyssey was great.
Was it you that said, I gotta have an Odyssey, or were your parents like into it too?
My dad was like somehow knew about the stuff, and
Yeah.
went to the arcades together and played like Night Driver. Remember Night Driver?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like three-dimensional graphics of the street coming at you and stuff.
Well, yeah, and you could pick up oil slick power, right? Didn't you have an oil? What was that?
That's like
Night Spy Rider.
Yeah, that's a Spy Hunter.
Yeah, way before that, Knight Rider.
Hey, Jack Black. Do you remember the first game you ever played?
It was Pong.
Oh.
And it was a friend of mine, don't remember the friend's name, in Culver City, and he lived around the block, and he had an awesome Black Sabbath t-shirt on. This was before I even knew who Black Sabbath was. And so
Full
he had
circle.
all the best things. He had Pong and Black Sabbath. He introduced me to two amazing things.
So you'd put on like Master Reality and then be like playing Pong.
And Pong was just such a mind blower. I was like, oh, this is, you know.
It was very exciting back then.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go to my next
That was a
mind
great
blower.
question.
It turned out
That
to
was
be a great
really
question.
Great question. Thank you.
What's your favorite? This is another winner of a question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Sorry.
Not that.
I'm not known for my interviewing skills.
You want to answer that one first?
Yeah.
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. You know what you're.
I mean, it's boring, but you can't beat power of flight. If I could just levitate, that's levitation, Holmes.
Yeah.
Nothing's more impressive than me just levitating right now.
Yeah. And people
Or
often
bamf,
debate whether people
teleportation,
like
bamf. And you're in France.
Bamf, you're in France. People always say it's either flight or invisibility, and I don't want to say invisibility because that people say that means you're kind of a sneaky person,
Right.
or a liar, or
Oh,
a
yeah.
pervert.
Right? Well, for sure.
And I'm not going to say any of those things, but invisibility would be cool.
Yeah.
Like I could be up here and I could be just, you couldn't see me and you'd be talking to yourself.
It's an awesome one for shy people.
Oh, that's what it is. Shy people.
Yeah,
And flying, you could get hurt. Even, you could fly into a drone,
that's true.
you know.
I thought maybe you were going to say, like, psychic powers.
That would have been a great promotional opportunity.
Just because
yeah.
my introduction to Tim Schafer was the incredible Psychonauts. Anyone play Psychonauts? Genius game.
That was professional interviewing right there.
It's a
That was good.
camp of kids with psychic powers. It's
yeah.
a summer camp, very exclusive. Only kids with psychic powers allowed. But
Mhm.
this one kid sneaks into this camp.
He has psychic powers.
But he wasn't invited, right? He kind of snuck
he
in, if I
stows
remember
away.
correctly.
Yeah. Thanks for playing.
I love it.
Amazing.
Love it.
Raz was raised in the circus, and I keep grabbing the bottom of the microphone, and they flash. By the way, don't grab the bottom of the microphone.
Don't grab the bottom?
No,
All right.
don't.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Don't grab the
It's
bottom,
not my
people.
first microphone. I know you hold the tip. I mean,
You've ruined microphones for me forever. But people ask how we got. People often say like, "How did you get Mr. Black to be in Brutal Legend?" And I, from what I was told, it was Psychonauts. You'd played Psychonauts.
oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, I remember who turned me on. It was Liam Lynch, my good friend and director of my movie. I don't know if you ever saw a little movie, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And Liam was always like my touchstone for like the great games. He always had the tip on the latest secrets, and he told me you gotta play Psychonauts. And then around at the same time, I heard you like being interviewed on a very fancy radio station. It was like NPR, National Public Radio. We're doing a special expose on a video game, Psychonauts.
For smart people.
It was for smart people. And I thought, okay,
No.
I'm getting it. The universe was telling me that I had to enjoy some Psychonauts, and it blew my mind. You know why? Because I'd played a lot of games. I consider myself a gamer. But when I stumbled upon Psychonauts, it was like, this is a little bit more creative. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit smarter. It's like the New York Times crossword puzzle of video games. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit. It's a
Not like on a
finer
Friday.
wine. The vintage of the Double Fine Magic, and yeah. So I was in, and I don't know how you heard that. I mean, you approached me, right? Or did I approach you? Who approached who?
I think we approached you, and I don't know how we made contact. All I remember is showing up on the roof of the Four Seasons with my little binder full of concept art.
Yeah.
Because Brutal Legend was not even a game yet.
Yeah.
And we were designing this character that was like, well, we kept talking about it's a Jack Black kind of like Tenacious D like character, kind of Jack Black and like a love child of Jack Black and Glenn Danzig a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not like a love child, but I was like, not like they had a baby, but like they just made out a little bit.
You had
sealed
some unbelievable artwork that you brought to the Four
I
Seasons.
had a 3-ring binder, and I was flipping through. I was like, okay, and you're in this world, and this thing is like this guy an eyeball popping out of it, and and it worked.
Well, the thing that I was impressed with Brutal Legend is that I was already deep into the heavy metal, my Black Sabbath roots we just talked about. So I between heavy metal music and Psychonauts, I was already in. It didn't really matter what happened at that meeting at the Four Seasons. But then you brought this artwork that was like mind-blowing, and it was all my favorite things. And the idea of like rock music not just being a badass thing to listen to, but like it had its own like power was very special to me.
Fight anti-heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classico Domingo? Is that the same dude that yelled earlier? Classico? Are you talking about Tenacious D song Classico? Oh, there you are. He wants me to talk about Tenacious D.
Yeah, let's talk about Tenacious D.
Enough about Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
Enough. Now Classico. Talk about I'll tell you something about Classico. There's three. It says written by Tenacious D, right? Or did we give credit where it was due? Because Classico there's three composers that we stole from. We stole from Beethoven, Bach, and Mozart. And then we just like rocked it really hard, but it's obviously just a ripoff. But here's the thing we learned about music. If it's old enough, you don't have to pay no one. We get all that sweet corn. And if you're going to steal from the best.
Yeah.
What do they say? They say the great ones borrow, but the geniuses steal. Something like that. That's not the quote. Something like that.
Now the Beethoven estate is going to come after you.
But funny thing about Brutal Legend.
Oh, way to bring it back.
We did Brutal Legend. Sorry, back to Brutal Legend. And we did that game, and we were thinking, how should we promote this game? And me and Kyle of Tenacious D thought, what would be great is if we wrote a song. Brutal Legend is about a roadie. He's like the guy who's working for the band behind the scenes, and he's not famous. He's in the wings, but he's the real badass of the, it was like a glorification of this mythical figure. And so we loved our roadie because we'd been on the road for many years before. And we thought, I'm going to make a song for Joe Beebe, our roadie.
Can you name the roadie?
What if I couldn't remember his name just then? That would have been a guy that worked for us.
We
He's
wouldn't
cool.
know the difference. We would assume Joe Beebe's his name.
But Joe Beebe, we thought he deserved a song, and it's like this is going to happen. So we wrote this song about Joe called Roadie, and it was going to be coincided with the release of the game. And we thought, what we need to do, it was a very involved promotional plan. What we need to do is me get dressed as the character that looks like me but way more muscly. And so we paid for a special muscle suit to be built for me. And it was expensive. It cost a few coins. And then I was going to be the roadie, but I wanted to go to a legit heavy metal show and roadie for them, mix in with the other roadies before. And we're like, who's playing in the next, 4 to 5 days? Because it was so last minute. The game's gonna drop on Sunday. We need to figure out who's gonna. And Motorhead was playing here at this venue.
Not here on the stage.
Was it not this venue?
Well, maybe.
Oh no, you're not this one.
Let's stick to that. I'm
But,
sorry, I messed
right
that up.
around the
I
corner.
messed that up.
No.
Here. Where you were all sitting, they were out there.
But right around the corner from here. There's like at what's that? Microsoft Theater. Oh, it used to be Nokia, but Nokia. Poor Nokia. So we go over. We call their. We have our manager call Motorhead's manager and say, we got this song called Roadie. Could we come out and like play it before he goes on? And they were like, sure, yeah. We're gonna put you in the paper. It's gonna say Tenacious D is opening for Motorhead. And we were
Wait,
like,
what?
yes.
Did you? Okay. Okay. You did a little mini concert before the Motorhead concert?
Just the one song. So the thing was, I came out there and I was roadieing for, pretending to roadie. I don't really know what to. I was like pointing at things, going, plug in the flange, and I was just in character.
But can I back up? Are you friends with the late great Lemmy Kilmister? Did you know him?
I did not know him before that night. I went backstage before we went on, and I said, Lemmy, I just have to say I'm a huge fan. Ace of Spades, forever. You're the king. Thank you so much for letting us come out and play this song before you guys go on. And he was like,
he's like, you're doing what?
That's cool. Who are you again?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're Tenacious D. We're just a band, and your manager said it was cool if we opened for you. Come again? Who said what? I'm in charge here. Tell me again what's happening. And there was a little kerfuffle, and for a second, we were not going to perform before. Like, what did I do? I shouldn't have come in here. And he said, and he let it go. And
because when I saw you doing that, I was like, Lemmy doesn't seem like he's prone to hijinks or shenanigans.
No,
he goofing around.
He took his metal very seriously.
Yeah.
He's genius and also dead serious about rocking.
Yeah.
But we got out of there by the hair of our chinny chinchilla, and launched the game in a very fun and peculiar way.
And you know what's funny about that whole story? I didn't know anything about any of that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you.
No one.
I
didn't know that was happening. And I heard the song. I was like, they're doing a song about a roadie. We should have had that in the game. We should have put that in the game. That
The manager never told Lemmy that he had a new opening act. So Lemmy was understandably pissed off. He was like, what the fuck? No one runs anything by me anymore. And then we were like, I don't know if we should go on. And the manager said, it's okay. Just go on. He's not paying attention right now. And I was like, all right. I said, and then we were about to go on, and I was like to Kyle, what if he gets furious and comes out and like kicks the shit out of me? And Kyle's like, it would be awesome. Great promotion for the game. No such thing as bad publicity. And I said, you know what? You're kind of right. It would be one of the greatest things ever if Lemmy came out and like
a great story.
Blasted me.
How did you get that scar?
Mid-song.
Oh, Lemmy's bass. He just hit me on the face with it.
I kind of wish he would have done, but anyway.
Super nice guy. He was a great guy.
Hold on, I'm like that bar mitzvah boy.
He did a voice in the game too, We recorded Lemmy Kilmister. He played the bass. It was awesome. I got to go to his apartment afterwards and hang out.
Did you?
Yeah. He was super friendly. Super friendly. He was like, do you ever want to open for us? We'll let anybody do it.
It's great.
I did. Classico.
Can you tell us anything about Raz's new adventure in Psychonauts 2? Did you know there's a Psychonauts 2 coming around the corner?
Yeah. Yeah, we are working on it. Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing?
No. We Raz, it's really right after the first game.
Yeah.
And we did a VR game that tells us a mission in between. And then Raz is a story about a psychic and an acrobat who can jump into people's minds. So every level in the game is set inside someone else's head, and it's all about their weird mental problems and fantasies and stuff like that. And you get to fight their demons. And the first game was set in a psychic summer camp. And the second game is set at Psychonauts headquarters. So you're going to actually go meet the Psychonauts in their natural environment and go on actual missions with them and find out that there's some secrets going on there, international intrigue.
Are you going to do an NPR exclusive interview at some point?
Mm-hmm. That's how we rope in the top talent.
When can we expect this to drop?
We'll talk more about that later.
Oh, yeah.
We're not showing it this year. We haven't showed that much. We did just do a backer update, and we showed the new Raz. He's got new clothes and everything, and he looks awesome, and he's all modern.
Oh man.
Looking up to date.
I can't wait.
And should I remind you that you said.
That I said I would be in it?
Yeah, you said.
I'm waiting by the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. When is it? When do I come in to record?
I got some parts in mind. I got to write dialogue for it. Stuff.
You know, you always you say jump. I say hi. But
Good to know.
yeah. It's you and whoever those dudes are at Rockstar. Those are my two favorites that I like. Look forward to the next title dropping. That's how it feels.
What are you playing right now? Can I ask you that question?
I don't
even have to look at my phone to do
I've
that.
been playing some Titanfall 2.
Oh yeah, that is a good game.
I really love the one player mode. What's that?
One player mode.
It's not called one player mode.
No, it's called one player mode.
Story mode.
If you really could. From now on, it's called one player mode. We're gonna start a thing with this crew here. That's a good game.
I had some other questions I want to ask you about.
What are you playing, Tim?
What
I'm
are you
playing a lot of
playing,
Zelda.
On the
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch?
On Nintendo Switch. I was trying to sell your kid on it earlier. He goes, I already have that. I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But it's like the game that I started playing it. Like I'm gonna get through this game, and then I'm like, no, I'm never gonna stop playing this game. I'm just gonna like live in this game now. I'm just like I just wander around that world now, and I know that Zelda's in the castle and she needs my help and stuff. But I'm like I gotta find all these Korok seeds. Like gotta find every single one of them. Thank you. Yeah.
It's satisfying, right?
There's like 900 of them or something.
You want to scratch? Well, that's the key to a
Has
good
anyone
game.
out there actually 100%ed Zelda already and found like all 10,000 Korok seeds? Is that even possible? It's a good game. Yeah. My guy. Really, right there? Really? Do you have your Switch on you right now in the bag? Are you carrying your Switch with you right now? Oh, that's convenient. It's portable, you know. It's portable. I totally believe you. He's like, stop looking at me right now. I believe you.
I wanted to ask you, when did you first realize that you wanted to create games?
That's a great question. Thank you.
Sometimes these dumb questions lead to really awesome answers, though.
That's not a dumb question. We had the Odyssey, and then we had the Atari, and then I got the Atari computer with the little microwave keyboard. You ever seen that?
The
Atari 400.
The
800.
Commodore?
Commodore is
Sorry.
it's far inferior to the Atari that you're.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the Atari computer called again?
Well, there was Atari 400, Atari 800.
Right.
People of my old people in the games industry, like when we all started, we had either had an Atari, or we had a Commodore, or we had like an Apple. And those, if you like find a bunch of people who've been in the games industry a long time, you can ask them like which kind you were, and it will like divide the group into thirds.
Imagine.
To this day, they'll be like, well, you know, the
you-
Apple was better, and they're what? But the Atari was the best one. So.
I had the ColecoVision Atom, which was like an amazing computer, kind of.
Did you ever try and program on it?
No, God, no.
Did you play games on it?
I did.
What? Do you remember any of the games?
Yeah, they had a pretty good Dragon's Lair.
Really?
It's pretty good.
The Dragon's Lair, like with
The
the
Dragon's Lair, but it didn't have like the cut footage. It was like a.
No. It was a text.
It was a
based one?
No, it was just a sort of a pixelated version of the original.
That's awesome.
Here's a good question. What is funny?
Did you write that down? What is
did.
funny?
Well, I just think you're funny, and I think your writing is funny and clever. And I thought, like,
You're the professional
What do you
comedian.
think is funny?
I am just I type in the stuff into the games. Obviously, that's not funny.
What makes you laugh? What makes you laugh? What makes you laugh hard?
Yeah, Jack Black's pretty funny.
If I was Barbara Walters, he'd be bursting into tears by now. I haven't even gotten there. I haven't even scratched the surface yet.
That's a really hard question. What do you think is funny?
What do I think is
Yeah,
funny?
yeah.
Blowhards. You know, people who think they know the answer and are super confident or 1,000% positive of something, and then they're just ass backwards wrong.
Yeah.
That's always pretty damn funny.
Oh man. Yeah. That's an average workday for me.
That's-
doesn't not anything wrong with not talking about my friends back home at Double Fine, of course.
But
Other people.
do you ever think? I mean, it's a writer that you are.
That was kind of a Yoda question.
Do you ever think about busting out a novel or going into like a different writerly venue?
Barbara, I think I do like writing, and I thought I would write that kind of stuff when I was growing. I love like Kurt Vonnegut, like reading books and short stories. And
What's your favorite Vonnegut?
I mean, the first one I read was Breakfast of Champions, and I feel like it sticks with you. But
Yeah.
I think Sirens of Titan might be my favorite one.
Which one has Ice 9? Cat's Cradle?
That's Cat's Cradle.
Come
Also
on,
good.
Cat's Cradle, man.
Yeah.
Dark.
And I was like, I'm going to write that kind of stuff. And, you know, he worked at GE or somewhere. He was an engineer, and he wrote in the night. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I thought I would get a database programming job, but then I ended up getting a job at George Lucas's Fun Factory.
You're like George Lucas's Fun Factory?
Yeah, Lucasfilm Games it was called back then.
Can
And
we hear a little bit about that chapter of your existence?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. It was like a job listing at the college. There was like, we need programmers who can write dialogue. I was like, that sounds amazing. And I loved Lucasfilm already because they had made these games called like Ball Blazer and Cronus Rift and Rescue and Fractalist and all these great games for the Atari 800, which was the best.
Ball Blazer.
Ball Blazer. But I
No wonder you like to hold it at the base. He's ball blazing.
Oh, man. Guys, please, we're being serious. I just don't know how to hold this thing anymore now. Like,
It's like a flute of champagne. You hold it up at the tip.
Ball Blazer. But when I played it, it was well, I did my phone interview, and he's like, "What kind of games of ours do you like?" And I was like, "I love Ball Blazer." But what I actually said is I love Ball Blaster because that's what my copy was called. And he goes, "Ball Blaster, huh? That's what it was called when it was pirated."
Busted.
Yeah, totally busted.
And yet you still
Somehow I
got
got that job anyway.
nice.
But I was working at Skywalker Ranch. Have you been up there?
No.
It's beautiful.
Is it still
Yeah,
what it was?
What?
I heard that
Skywalker
I heard
Ranch?
that he had plans to like sell it to make it into something else.
Well, it's like I think he gave most of the land back to like the land trust or some sort of. It's like a state property now, or kind
Yeah.
of, or it's zoned so it can't be developed. And his, little Skywalker sound is there. They still do all this, tons of editing of sound for movies.
Yeah.
And the concept art for a lot of the Star Wars movies was done in the main house, and they have a fire department. This is like
Whoa.
the Lucasfilm Fire Department on it, and Ewok Lake is there.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a nice job.
wait a second. I mean, what makes it Ewoky, that lake?
I guess it's full of the bodies of Ewoks.
I mean,
They
when
don't
I
bury
think-
their dead; they just pop them into the water.
I think Ewoks. I think like rainforest type of trees. They're all hanging up in the trees, right? With like a
Hanging?
Swiss Family Robinson kind of like.
They actually, it's in Marin, which has the giant redwoods.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was some of the inspirations for Endor.
Oh yeah.
And wait, where do Ewoks? They don't live there. Anyway, woods. Where do Ewoks live? Is it Endor? All right. Yeah, so I was right. And and they didn't film that there, but I was always told they filmed there was an Ewok special, like a TV special.
Is it possible George Lucas is watching right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not. But they filmed some of the
He'd be
Ewok.
like, Ball Buster!
No, it was
A
never
blaster.
called Ball Buster. That would be a popular game.
Did you ever get to have some face-to-face time with George?
I met him 3 times.
Thrice.
Thrice I've met. And on the first eve, he came to me.
Were you nervous?
I'm the ghost of episode 1.
Was it Trembly that first meeting?
Just trying to remember the first one he came to look at. We were making this game Day of the Tentacle, and he came to look at our storyboards. Thank you, awesome. And he came, and we were so proud of ourselves because we were doing storyboards like a real movie. We're like, woohoo, we're doing storyboards. And he's like, yeah, storyboards. We do this all the time. It's like, it's hard to make a movie without a script. And we're like, script, that's what we should have. So, yeah, there wasn't a lot of exchanges between me and George.
You don't want to talk about the second and third time?
But second time, I think that was the second time. The first time, I think I said hi to him at the like the 4th of July picnic.
Did you what? Did you blast him?
That's
Ball blast?
dirty. They had amazing 4th of July picnics, and one year Michael Jackson was there.
No.
Yeah.
Where did they do some moonwalking together?
I couldn't tell if you were scatting just then. That sounded like you were scatting.
Was there? Did George Lucas
You know
work
what? I
with
think
him
you're
on a
thinking
thing?
of Captain EO.
Oh, Captain EO.
EO is
Right.
a George, like a Spielberg, Lucas, Jackson jam.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I caught that while it was
At
still
the
there.
park?
I caught
I think
it
it's
at
back.
the park.
Isn't it back?
I think it's not back now.
No?
No, it's got to be over by now.
I think it went away
it
and it
back?
came back. Maybe
It
went
went
away.
away, it came back, and now it's gone away forever. It's back a bit again?
This is like a really helpful audience. You guys know everything. That's amazing.
Hold on. We only got a couple minutes left. I got a really good question I want to get to.
Are you trying to get out of here early?
Where do you live?
I got a real. That's a good question.
I just imagine your house has got a lot of cool secret passageways and stuff.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Does it not have a not one secret tunnel?
It does have it has like a weird, like a light well with a little trap door that you can go.
I called it. I swear to God, I did not know.
Yeah. And it's, I don't want to say it because my daughter's listening. But we used to call it Alice in Wonderland because it was like a little hidden place that she could go into and she called it. But when she was really young, she pronounced it Asses in Wonderland. I'm sorry if you're watching this, but it was you know, little kids, they say that it's so innocent. I want to go to Asses in Wonderland. Feel free to use that for a song title, if you want to. Anytime.
How do you like being a parent now? You're a parent. Oh, she's literally watching though.
She's backstage with your children.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scheming.
I have to say, one of our favorite games at home with the kids when we play together was Connect Party.
Connect Party, yeah.
Now this is a game that is
That's both the people that bought it.
Anybody that has kids and a Connect player, you have got to get yourself a Connect Party.
Yeah.
There's no controllers, and there's literally like 278 different games that just sort of happen one after the other.
It's like, remember the Kinect, you guys? Yeah, so you just it shows your living room, but it shows your living room back at you, but we fill it with lava, or we fill it with balls of balloons. And,
magical.
And, like giant buildings, and you smash them like Godzilla. It's
For hours.
One of the best things we've ever made. People just, like, every time you have a party, like a birthday party for kids, you turn it on, and they'll just play in front of it for hours and hours and laugh and sweat, and it's gross.
Yeah, I sweat my...
But great, and your grandparents can play it. Like if the family dog runs in the room, they can pop bubbles. It's go back in time.
Oh, that's a good one. My boys, especially Sammy, has shown a lot of interest in designing games himself. He wants to get in that world because he's thinking games and he's very creative. What advice do you give to do kids ever come up to you and say, how do I do what you do, Mr. Schaefer? That's never happened?
No, yeah.
What do you say? What's your go-to advice for a young aspiring game designer? Or even a 40-something aspiring game designer?
I mean, it sounds really cliched to play a lot of games, but I swear a lot of the ideas I have, it sounds like I steal a lot of them, but I do. I steal a lot of them.
The geniuses steal.
Yeah. From Beethoven, listen to a lot of Beethoven. But like,
all the best games
playing
come
a lot
from
of
Beethoven.
games, and nowadays you can you don't have to know how to program as much. Like there used to be all these barriers to make a game, but now you can download an engine like Unreal or Unity or like Game Maker or Creator or one of these. There are all these engines that can help you make a game if you're just an artist, and and you can watch a YouTube video about how to do it and make a game, and so you can practice and make something. And they have programs in school now, like college degrees in game design. Didn't have that back in my day. What else?
So your advice to kids is to practice? That's the advice? Practice?
Help me make that a more fun answer, because I don't. What do you say when people ask you what they should do? You say practice.
I do. I say that writing is the key. Anyone who wants to get into acting, they better start writing their own parts and just doing it, because all my favorite comedians and people in the industry now are writing their own stuff. And I recommend.
You writing?
Well, I didn't. I'm not known as a writer, but yeah, I didn't get anything really cooking until I started writing songs and sketches with Tenacious D. That's when I found my voice. So anyone who asks me, but let's say I wanted to practice my game making. You say you'd take a course?
No, you don't. I mean, if you're in school, there's courses now in colleges or high schools sometimes. But yeah, you can just learn it from the internet.
Coding.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? But you're saying now there's
I'm
ways
saying
around the whole coding thing.
There's visual programming languages. There's ways to get in if you don't, and you can learn a simpler programming language. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
And play a lot of games.
What? Can you have a picture? Now's not the time or the place. Well, can you just like do the? No, don't come up here. Yeah, do that, and then hold it like that. If you have a really good... I'm going to multitask. I'm going to look at my next question while you take that picture.
Thank you.
You wanted a hug. What games are you looking forward to other than your own games coming out?
That's professionalism.
Bringing it back.
Games. I was excited to play. I didn't get a really chance to play the new Mario game.
Oh,
Did you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't play it? Your kid played it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was into it.
I like to play any new Mario game. I saw some cool things that A Way Out. Have you seen that? It's from the people who made Brothers. It's like a jailbreak, and you play it co-op even if you're not in the same room. It's like a split screen all the time.
Way Out?
A Way Out.
A Way Out.
Yeah. It's like a jailbreak story. You can jailbreak. We could do it together. We could jailbreak together.
Dude, we should make it's too late now. Well, I was going to say we should make a Jumanji game, but it comes out in like 3 months.
Wait,
we don't have time.
So they're not making a game for that right now?
No, isn't that dumb?
Isn't there
it's a
game
movie
in-
about a game. Duh. It's the most obvious thing you make a game.
But it's kind of a warning about how those games are dangerous, right?
That's true. But, Tony Hawk, they always used to say at the end of whenever you conquered a Tony Hawk skateboarding game, now get out and skateboard for real, kids. Like they would always give you the anti-video game message at the end of the...
Yeah. These kids playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero, just it's not the same thing like that.
Yeah.
Did we talk about your favorite games yet? Outside of Psychonauts, like games?
My favorite games?
Yeah. Games that have meant a lot to you and Brutal Legend. Games that have like meant a lot to you when you were growing up that you're like, oh, I want to be in a rock band and not make video games. But
my favorite game of all time? I mean, other than Psychonauts, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I really love that Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Takes me into the world.
Yeah.
I love getting fully immersed. And there's kind of a storyline, but kind of just wandering.
Yeah. What kind of cowboy were you? Did you do bad things?
No, I was mostly a righteous cowboy.
You never like jumped on top of a moving train, then just killed everyone on the train?
You know what?
You can
That's
do that.
what
and
I
the train
do.
will just keep going.
I'll go through the entire. Here's my go-to. I'll go through an entire game on the easiest level if there's a choice, and I'll conquer the whole thing as righteous and as good as I can be, and I'm going to heaven at the end. And then after I conquer the game, I go back in, but this time I'm a totally different person. I'm the evil devil boy that is there just to.
On hard mode.
Yeah, I'll skip. I'll never play medium. It's super easy, and then I skip to absolute insane mode. That's my go-to.
He's not kidding. I sneakily got a hold of your Xbox friend code, right? I saw, and I could see at night whenever I go on there, you were on there playing. You didn't tell me if you're playing easy mode or not, but you'd be playing games all the time. It's always playing video games.
I love you.
That's not really.
I feel
That
like
wasn't really a good question. I don't have.
I think this is happening now. A high five with interlocking squeeze. It's been great chatting with you. Was there anything else that you wanted to say? I asked all of my questions.
Oh, really?
Pretty much. I'm not going to ask a couple of them. Are so dumb. I can't.
Oh, come on.
You thought those other ones? No. They start getting so dumb. It's like a peek into my soul. Should we bring Jeff out? Is it time to be?
Wait, is Jeff? Are you nearby? Jeff, you're welcome on the stage.
Jeff?
Or we could take an audience question if you
We
want to
need
take an
those
audience
golden
question.
loads. Oh, yeah, audience questions. Right there. Wait a second. Did you hear that?
I wish. I know some people might have thought we were going to announce that, but
It does feel like it. Seems like it. Jeff should have thought of that.
Yeah. But we're not. I would love to, but we're not. That'd be great.
I know.
Yeah. That's going to be, someday we'll make that game. It's going to be an expensive game. It's going to cost money.
Yeah. What's your question? Oh, thank you.
Doesn't work. Oh, now it does. Okay. My name's Miss Busby. I'm a teacher and a writer. And in college, I started writing poems and making songs for my classroom because I saw School of Rock and because I saw how inspired. So I've been very inspired, and I actually recently started composing music to go with those songs and made a song that I did in a talent show with some of my kids. And if I didn't watch School of Rock, I feel like that might have not happened.
Oh,
and
nice.
maybe this isn't really a question, but thank you.
Oh,
thank
you're
you.
so sweet. Thank you. That was the sweetest thing I've heard all day.
That was awesome. Aren't you glad we took an audience
feels
question?
good.
That was beautiful.
I am.
Now, what's your question?
I'd like all. Oh, do I want to listen to your song? I mean, it'd be, of course.
Do you want to take another question? I see a hand right there.
You, sir.
Big fanboy also on LucasArts in the 90s. That was all I did, your adventure games.
Closer. Don't touch the bottom of it, though.
In the 90s,
Just
your game.
grab it right around this top area.
All right. One, did you ever see the Yati Crenshaw review of the first Psychonauts? He's only give positive reviews to 2 games, Portal and your Psychonauts. Zero punctuation.
You're going to ask about reviews. That's always awkward.
But if you've never seen it, I did have a specific game about a question about Psychonauts 2. I got the impression that you were. Is it going to be exclusively VR? That's what it kind of.
Oh,
looked
no.
like.
We made a VR exclusive game called Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin, and it's on PlayStation VR, and that's already out. And that's like a one mission. It's the shorter story in between Psychonauts 1 and 2. And you don't have to have played it to play Psychonauts 2. You should play it. It's great. It's awesome. But Psychonauts 2 is going to be on other platforms. It's going to be, everywhere, and not VR. Later. And I have seen that review, and it was good. I should have just stopped right there and not watched anymore.
I see too many hands. Let's go right that guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
That guy? Yeah.
Hello, is this working? Okay, I have a big question. I was wondering, when are we going to see Tenacious D2 and the Bong of Destiny?
Oh, Tenacious D2 and the Bong? You've already got the title. The
Yeah.
bong of destiny.
You got the bong ready. I hear you see it.
You know, that will probably be a very low budget affair. As the first one, as many of you may know, nobody went to see it. But you did, apparently.
Big fan.
You probably saw it on YouTube.
Everybody
No.
here saw that movie.
Thank you. Well, we
It was
don't
like
have
twice
plans
as
for that.
popular as Connect Party.
We do have plans for a musical a post-apocalyptic musical comedy to be released in the near future, animated series that no one in Hollywood wants to make, but that we're making it. I did all the drawings, and it's really bad.
Did you,
And also
did you really do a bunch of drawings?
pretty darn good.
I did get one question from the internet
Yeah?
before. People wanted to ask when there's going to be a Heat Vision and Jack game.
Oh, Heat Vision and Jack game.
Yeah.
Another, thank you. See, that's why it was a pilot that I did that never came out.
It came
But-
out on the internet.
That came out on the internet. But those guys that wrote and directed, Ben Stiller directed it. But the guys that wrote it and created it, Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub, are these like geniuses that have gone on to like superstardom. I don't know if you ever heard of this cartoon, Rick and Morty. But that's Dan. I think there's a lot better chance of a Rick and Morty game than a Heat Vision and Jack, unfortunately. But I'd work with those guys anytime. Those guys
Basically
are so
the same.
funny. But next question. Oh, sorry, dude. I went
Yeah,
that
we
way.
were going to ask
but then
this guy,
he was
but this
more
guy
aggressive.
yelled, so fair's fair.
Hey, Jack. My name is Ray. I'm a big fan. I've always loved your music and your acting. Question for you a little bit deeper than video games and stuff. Just as you further your career, are you coming back to music? Are you still doing it? And has acting and music, as a father, have you changed the way you act and the way you perform your music since you are, a father now? Has that changed at all the way you do that?
Yeah, it's always been part of my. Acting and music always kind of went hand in hand for me from the very beginning. I was doing musical theater, and Tenacious D was kind of my entry into the industry in a way, and all of my best movies seem to have music. So once in a while I'll do a movie with no music in it, but I'll always end up coming back to music. And Tenacious D is cradle to the grave. I'm going to,
Can I get a solid medal from you?
What's that?
Can I get a solid medal from you? Medal!
Woo! Yeah, that was pretty solid.
That was a really good medal.
It was a solid falsetto, I think you'll have to agree.
So
I shouldn't have gone for the second one. The first one was more solid.
But you asked about kids too. Now you don't swear anymore, right?
Yeah, I've let a few go tonight, haven't I?
No. Not that I noticed.
Yeah, I got kids. So I still will do movies that are not for kids. That I still do both.
They haven't watched those.
But what's
Pick of
that?
Destiny, are they?
No, they haven't seen Pick of. They've seen parts of Pick of Destiny. I'll fast forward through the inappropriate bits, the kibbles and bits. But
This guy
yeah.
really wants to ask the question.
Hey,
He's
is your
hurting his arm.
Do you think your kid is going to be a gamer? Is she showing an interest in game design?
Yeah.
She gonna follow in the footsteps?
She has drawn some games out on paper, and she started her own Zelda save game, her own game. She used to watch me playing it, but now she's playing it herself. So I've taught her, like, the best thing to do on a warm, sunny day is stay inside and play video games. Trying to be a good influence. Yeah. That's the secret right there.
So I got a question for you both. First one's for Tim, and I wanted to know what was like the first program you wrote that worked, and you were just like excited that it.
The
'cause,
first program I wrote that worked. I remember the first program I wrote that didn't work because I didn't have a computer. I was reading a book on basic programming, and I wrote this program that would just draw rectangles on the screen. Very exciting. And I went down to my local Radio Shack, which you have to ask your parents about. It was a store because the Radio Shack had a TRS-80 in it, and I would ask the guy, or like if I can break into the backgammon game that was running on it all the time, and type in my own program. I sat there and I typed in this rectangle drawing program, and I typed run, and it didn't work. And then the guy kicked me out of the store.
Yeah, nice.
So that's my first program that didn't work. The first one that worked was
I made a Connect 4 game once, and it worked, and it was like the most exciting thing, man.
Isn't it exciting when things work?
It worked.
Still exciting to this day when things work.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
Nothing.
Yeah, what'd you say, man?
Now, your second part of your question, please.
Oh, Jack. All right, man. So I know it's been a while since Tenacious D, so are you still in shape, man? Can you still do like the dig push-ups and stuff
you're
like
talking
that,
about
man? Have you tried one of those lately? Deactivate the lasers. Yeah.
Let's bring Jeff out, you guys.
And last we won an encore, man. We won a song.
Still got it.
He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. Okay, let's get some professional
He wanted to see
hosting going on here. Are you gonna do one? No.
You were
This
pretty
is Jeff
good interviewer.
Keighley. Jeff
Jack
Keighley,
Black.
everybody. Hello, sir. Take my hand.
interception.
Yeah,
Interception.
I love it right there.
Thank you.
How
Thank
you
you.
doing? That was fun.
That was fun.
So we'll get you in Psychonauts 2, we think, Jack? It's going to happen, I think, right?
Oh, it's happening. It's just a question of if I'm going to be in it or not. He keeps on teasing me with it.
Well, who's this character going to be?
Oh yeah, we'll start. I mean, have auditions and everything.
But do you have that piece of art? You imagine what Jack's
We are
character's going to be?
still creating new characters as we develop all the minds,
Okay.
and there are a couple that I think Jack would be amazing in, but I think we want to get them all. Maybe provide some options.
Ah.
See what kind of stuff you want to do. Yeah.
He'd
Hi,
be.
Jeff. Thanks
Hey,
for having
Tim.
us on
Thanks
your show.
thanks for all you guys coming out to E3 Coliseum. This has been tons of fun. Thanks to Jack for hanging out with Tim. It's so fun to hear about all the games you like to play and the inspirations between both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this interviewing thing, you're pretty good. I prepped your questions and everything.
I did prep some shiny new questions.
Yeah. I'm sorry I touched the bottom of the mic so much.
It's all right.
What does that sound like?
Understandable.
Like, is it squealing?
A little feedback
wailing?
online. People are like,
Ah.
what's he doing?
Oh,
Sorry, online.
The receiver, I think, goes out.
Oh,
It's all
Do you
good.
think we covered everything? Because we're amateurs at this.
Yeah, I think we found out about the games and inspirations that have inspired you both. I mean, even, and it's cool to hear you talk about, like, Red Dead. All the Rockstar guys were texting me saying, oh, that's so cool that Jack loves the game. Because it's like, even talking about Titanfall.
Yeah.
So the Respawn guys were watching the stream. They're like, we didn't know Jack loved Titanfall campaigns. That's so cool. And to play all this stuff.
And then all the stuff I said, too, was cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We get to hear from you all the time, though. That's what's fun is this, the two of you guys
We just did it
riffing off each
yesterday.
other.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just had you on the show yesterday, but this is fun. Well, thanks so much for coming, guys, to E3. I'm glad you were walking around the show floor a little bit, right?
I did. I had
Check it
to
out.
dip my toe in.
How crazy? I've been over here all day. How crazy is it over there?
It is insane. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tight.
Yeah?
But yeah, I had my boys with me. And there's not a lot of kids. I don't think they're even really allowed. I
Not
think
allowed.
I bent the rules a bit.
I went to the first
to get my
E3
boys in.
23 years ago, and I was a kid.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
15 years old, and you have to get a special pass.
Yeah.
Because, it's 17 and older. So
That's
you're,
so cute.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
And look at you now.
Look at you now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So your kids had fun?
Yeah.
They told us we should cut our wristbands off because we're not cool if we're wearing them on
yeah.
the stage.
Yeah.
And now,
Sorry.
now we know it's cool to wear them.
Now the host, I messed up.
Well, I think this is my wristband right here.
Jack Black, Tim Schafer. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And that's going to do it for day one of the E3 Coliseum. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. We got another full day of awesome programming. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a good night.